And one in the text says, all the things are very much depends, good or bad depends the circumstances. But reality is entirely good or bad depends our mind. And therefore, if mind is happy, everything is all right. If mind is not all right, everything is not all right. And therefore, the principle or the root of our body, speech, mind is the mind. Therefore, to take care of the mind is very important. Here we are talking about the body, how it is the human existence. And before to study this subject, and also we need good intention. It is very important. If we have good intention, then everything is become good. And which kind of good intention? Or here said the good attitude of the bodhicitta, compassion, and the mind of the enlightenment. And when we are concerning the sentient beings, and those or the most sentient beings has such ignorant, disturbing emotions, according that they haven't got knowledge how to practice 10 positive actions, which is the cause of the happiness, and it's difficult to abandon or to avoid 10 negative actions, which is the cause of those sufferings. And therefore we are studying Dharma, therefore we are listening Dharma, and their benefit, we want to be enlightenment. Now we need to say or tell to ourselves, the page 9, tell yourself it is for their well-being that I'm going to listen to the profound Dharma and put it into practice. I will lead all these beings, my parents, tormented by the miseries of the 6 realms of existence, to the state of omniscient Buddhahood, freeing them from all the karmic phenomena, habitual tendencies, and suffering of every one of the 6 realms. And here is the telling to ourselves, oh, now I understood the situation of my families, who is the sentient beings. And that is the truth. And when we seeing sentient beings, when we hearing sentient beings, when we are touching sentient beings, those sentient beings, surely they be our families in the previous life. Maybe they support us a lot. Maybe they help to us very much. Also, maybe they are our dearest, like children, partner, brother, sister, or the parents. And now we understand these situations. Someone is suffering, hot, cold. Someone is suffering very much thirsty, hungers. Someone is suffering all the times to be under the other's controls. Of course, principally, all the sentient beings suffering under the suffering of the birth, old, sickness, death. And also some sentient beings, constantly there's war, killing, and famines, and sickness, so on. And someone has temporary happiness, but they do not know for the death, do not know where is they going in next life. And very much they are under the ignorant. And we can to say, until the I, myself, like this. But now I am obtained a human existence. I can to develop my discrimination wisdoms to make the distinctions between what is right, what is the wrong. And I can do something benefit those sentient beings. I want to make the well-beings. And therefore, I'm going to listen to the profound Dharma, like we say quintessential pith instructions, like single lifetimes to become the enlightenment. And not only the receive the teaching of the quintessential pith instructions, I want to go to put it into the practice seriously and determinedly, and to practice it. Also afterward, and if I become enlightened, then of course I can to lead to them, those sentient beings, into the state of the happiness. Even I'm not be enlightenment, if I have this knowledge. And of course, at the beginning we need to acknowledge the teaching of the Buddhas. And afterwards, we need to have experience, to have determined mind, or the determined way of the meaning into our mind streams. Then to tell to those families to how to abandon negative actions, how to collect positive actions. That is the leading to the sentient beings. And therefore says, my parents, now I want to really to do benefit for them. And my parents, when they be my parents, how much they help to me. And now they are injured by their sufferings. It's my turn. I need to do something. And also it's like my parents or the relatives. They are tormented day and night by the misery of the six realms of the existence. Miseries, confusions, anxieties. They do not know how to collect the cause of the happiness. As I said, how to abandon the cause of the realms, the sufferings. There is the six realms: hell, hunger, ghosts, animal realms. These three are the lower realms: human, demigod, God realms. We call the superior three realms. Together, they're the six realms. Of course, we come to more the study later. But that is the principle, our destinations. And this existence living there, and kind of the experience in place. And also maybe when we are researched that the six realms, And this is the kind of the resuming of our experience of the appearances. And why we need to talk about appearances? Because appearances are our condition. These conditions are the appearances. When you go to the sauna, and it's make our hot, but sauna is our appearances. Its appearances to make hot very much. When we be in the freezers, and these appearances of the freezers is making us very much cold, and therefore this two hot and cold is kind of the condition, is kind of the appearances, kind of our atmosphere or appearances, but these appearances to make the different feeling, different circumstances, different experience. Therefore, 6 ranas give us different experience, feeling of the sorrow, happy, and different emotional into our minds. And of course, we can do more to divide it. Maybe each 6 ranas, there are 6 categorizations of this kind of situations. We can take example of our human existence. It is the truth. When we look at in the human ranas, there are some really is like health. All the time is hot, war, killing, and like this. And some places all the time is cold, no food, no shelter, and suffering's cold. Same as someone is all the time is tortured by the others. And someone also is like under the other sentient beings. That generally human beings is really under under the suffering of the birth, old age, sickness, death. And some is human beings are really like kind of demigod, sensuous wars, killings, almost no ending, difficult to relax peacefully. And also, of course, some our humans, like God realms, there's everything, just like kind of follow up or the pursuing the temporary pleasures and kind of which kind of the entertainment day and night concerning delicious food, tasty taste, and where is the comfortable place. And you are not worried food, clothes, money, conditions, everything, like God realms. But of course, they are not free from the old sickness, death. And therefore, this is the 6 realms, like kind of the generally is talking about our appearances or the kind of whereas we are experience, and we can to say it's a destination or something like this of the existence to the state of the omniscient Buddhahood. Whoever dwelled or the living in these 6 realms, the six realms, wherever existence in this place. Now I want to lead them, bring into the omniscient or the Buddhahood. Buddhahood is very important. Buddhahood, we don't need to go someplace. Buddhahood is not a kind of something destinations, but Buddhahood means we mind achieve the mind itself. Buddhahood means mind become the mastery of the mind itself. Mind is become the mastery of the mind on the appearances. The appearances of the hell, appearances of the hungry ghost, appearances of the animal, human, demigod, and God realms. All these 6 realms of the existence, appearances occurring, the mind can manage, mind can control, mind can become the mastery to them, then it's that we call the Buddhahood. These circumstances, these appearances never influence to the mind. Mind can control to them. But at the moment, our mind is like kind of under our appearances of this cyclic existence of the samsara, the six realms. Therefore, Buddhahood means mind achieve the mastery of the control of the own appearances. Good appearances, bad appearances, hot appearances, cold appearances, hungry, thirsty, under torches, any kind of appearances, mind is no like kind of problems. Mind has become the fearless, mind is like kind of a bear, and everything. That is the Buddhahood. Mind got the power, mind got the strength, mind become the kind of mastery mind itself. That is the Buddhahood. Even someone says, like, now you are going to die right now, then why not? Mind can control the death process. Death is just temporary. That is not truly existence in the perspective of the mind. Mind have this power, strength, achievement. Even the death is nothing. Just a kind of, we can to say, is like we are going to sleep. If we have very nice bed, nice comfortable bedrooms, and so soft sleep bag, and this is, I want to go to sleep, is it? It's no afraid, nothing kind of more happy, is it? Like this, any kind of circumstances, mind is no problem. Mind like become the fearless. That is the Buddhahood. Of course, we can do more need to talk, and very, very important. And as I said this morning, when we study the Dharma, it is not normal educations. Normal educations, okay, I want to study mathematics because I want to become great mathematicians. Maybe I will become great science. Maybe I'm become the biological or something. Then I will get a job. I can to earn money. And okay, that, and maybe it's just to thinking about temporaries. If something is like a suffering occurring and a big dealing, like kind of the occurring the old age, sickness, death, mathematics, science, this kind of how it can to support to our heart is very difficult. And therefore, Dharma education need to help to the mind as much. Also temporarily, it is not normal educations. We receive the Dharma teachings, how we can become the good person, how we can take care of family, how we can to take care of ourselves, how we can to take care of the environment, and how we can to take care of the societies, how I can to become the sympathetic and altruistic, compassionate, cheerful. And then it's like a kind of the self to making the improve and authentic. Therefore, Dharma, we say, I want to practice Dharma. I want to practice Dharma. In the temporarily, when you change your fundamental characteristics of the defects, you become the good. Even your families, even whoever connect, how much is to be the happiest. And someone is sending to me the message. It's I don't understand the Buddhists. I said, why? Because some senior Buddhists, when they study more Dharma, they have become more aggressive, more selfish, more kind of the unkindness. This is influence of Dharma. And say like, I think it's something is going wrong. Generally, if someone study the Buddha's teaching, it should to become kind, should to become like generosity, should to have such a discipline, self-discipline, not a kind of telling to the others, not to follow up the ridiculous kind of the discipline. We have our own self-discipline. I don't want to harm to others. I don't want to steal. I don't want to do some sexual. I don't want to do all these things. And then it's like you are most genuine. Therefore, something is in the relative, how much is the benefit, how much we can to help to other sentient beings. I'm often to say this day is, everybody is democratic countries. If we can to help other sentient beings, other human beings, not through the verbally, through the behaviors, through the characteristically, and to showing the very kind, very love, cheerful and sympathetic, people automatically follow you. I want to imitate it. Maybe we can to say, I study Dharma, you're doing things incorrect. Dharma said like this, you should to listen to the Dharma, you should to practice Dharma. They don't want. It's Dharma has become the religious, and the people they don't like. Even the family situation, some Senior Buddhist says, oh, my family should to follow up the Dharma syllabus. Family follow up the Dharma or not, and they are imitating to the who is our families is become the Buddhist. If one of our family is follow up the Buddha's teachings, how is the changing process? How it is the benefit? And most times we say we become the atheists, non-believers. Why? Because you follow the religious path. How is the benefit? Maybe you say, oh, I'm making increase my faith, devotion. This is completely religious. Faith, devotions, it doesn't help. Nothing at all. And in the Buddhist perspective, is we look at the changing process, how it is the benefit, how it is more like we are talking about now. It's like they're talking about the sentient being situation. You should to concern it to the other sentient being. They are the same as ourselves. And we understood this. We have this knowledge. We knew this kind of, and then it's like naturally to helping to the others. We become very generous. We become very much disciplined person, passionate, diligent, concentrate to doing other things. And also we have such discriminating wisdoms. There is a naturally perfect, this is the transcendent, like six transcendent. Then is we become the great, like this. Then I want to lead to those sentient beings into the state of the Buddhahood, six Dharmas. It is important to this attitude each time you listen to the teaching or the practice themselves. And now it's like whatever we do, it is very, very important to changing our attitude. And even in the morning, whenever I wake up, I need to attitude. Need to change attitude and the intention. Pay attention. Oh, which kind of am I thinking? Am I thinking negative or am I thinking the positive? Very important. In the morning, wake up. Oh, I need to go to office. I need to do my job. I need to make the breakfast. I need to clean up my house. I need to go to but what is my intention? You know, I said it's like one Western, the person went to Tibet and visited the Lama. The Lama said, what do you think? When you have any situations, nothing? And okay, I'm eating delicious, yeah, delicious. Not like this. Now, whatever we have a task, what I need to think. Oh, it's like kind of my task is become the benefit for sentient beings. My job, I'm clean. This is also benefit. Maybe it's like I'm going to make the breakfast. May my breakfast is become the benefit. Maybe good, healthy food for my family, whoever going to eat. Just this intention, this generation of the attitude is the fantastic. It's really, really. This is. Then is here is one is the talking about. I want to say so that free from the old karmic phenomena, like a karmic phenomena. These karmic phenomena after whose habitual tendencies. These two are the very important terminologies. karmic phenomena, habitual tendencies. Habitual tendencies is habitual forming, imprinting tendencies. It's like kind of we are experiencing something, and this experience and later is coming, this we call the tendencies, because it's the habitual tendencies. And for example, we can to say like when we eat salt, chili or pancake, and first time we look at the pancake, and when we eyes to look the pancake, you have putting the tendencies inside. Pancake is like this. When you eat, taste, you put it into your mind, putting the habitual forming imprinting. Afterwards, you have this kind of tendencies in our heart, tendencies. I have these tendencies about the pancake, about the taste, about the form, about the materials, everything. And then later you have this ability to see again to these tendencies. It's like a kind of karmic phenomena, and phenomena is our appearances. Phenomena of the form, sound, smell, taste. All this the 5 desirable objects of this are the phenomena. Then there are good, bad, and good form, bad forms, unpleasant. It means pleasant form, unpleasant. Also pleasant sound, unpleasant sound. This is like a karmic phenomena. Why? Because it's like when we have these habitual tendencies perceived our mind as some in the phenomena, this is the karmic phenomena. And when we received, that is the water, that is the earth, that is the fires. That is the habitual tendencies. We receive these karmic phenomena, but the object, the appearances are not truly existence. For example, when we look at the water, and for our karmic phenomena of the water, this is tendencies. We have habitual tendencies. Water as the water. We think liquid. We can drink, take away the thirst. But same other sentient beings look at the water. They never perceive water as water. They have different karmic phenomena. Water is like when they look at the water, maybe water as earth. Maybe they can dig, they can inside. And some other sentient beings, maybe water as fire, they cannot eat. Maybe it's like they can make warmth. And some other sentient beings, water is not really water, water is air. They can breathe like this. Therefore, the object of the phenomena is we call the karmic phenomena, because of that is the shine through our habitual tendencies. This sometimes is this searching a lot, karmic phenomena and habitual tendencies. These two are, even now science, mathematics, many intelligent Western peoples, they are talking about habitual tendencies. Habitual tendencies is like, for example, today during the day you work with your computers a lot. Then in the whole night your dream is like kind of about the computers. This during the day you putting the habitual forming imprinting about the computers. Then during night you have karmic dreams. The karmic phenomena dreams, habitual tendencies of the computers. Whole night there is nothing kind of in the dreams, there is no existence in the computer, but habitual tendencies shine into the dream world. Then you are working on the computers. And therefore we're talking about habitual tendencies. And also it's like all the 6 realms, it is karmic appearances. Karmic appearances, it comes from the habitual tendencies. And that we need to know about that. And the outside of the 6 realms, there's not truly existence. If really the 6 realms, hell, hunger, ghosts, this area is existence. It is not the kind of karmic phenomena or the habitual tendencies. It's really something there place. Maybe we can destroy it. Then nobody's no need to go there. Maybe we can to put big bomb and destroy it. Now hell is completely, we like exploited. There's no place of the hell. Then nobody's no need to go there, no place. But this, the outer, the appearances, karmic phenomena of the hell, comes from our own habitual tendencies. Then it's like the outer one is not truly existence. Nobody cannot to destroy. What do we need to destroy? Really want to destroy six ralamas, the karmic phenomena of the six ralamas. Then we need to destroy in the mind. Habitual tendencies, like a kind of the deleted, or it's like habitual tendencies of hell, hunger, ghost. If not in our mind, then we never have the karmic appearances of this kind of ralamas. And therefore, maybe we need to learn habitual tendencies, karmic phenomena. And also then it's like the, here is, of course, I'm just to repeat before, but now as we're talking about the bodhicitta, and good attitude is very important to have this correct attitude, sympathetic attitude, altruistic attitude, like constant benefit for others. When we listen to the Dharma, when we practice the Dharma, when we are meditating the Dharma, when we do whatever we undertake, Dharma activity or the worldly activities, we should do the activity itself is enhanced by the good attitude of the compassion. And next page goes like this. Whenever you do something positive, whether of the major or the minor importance, it is the indispensable to enhance it with the three supreme methods. And this here says, whenever you something positive, to whenever we do the positive things, like coding the body, coding the speech, coding the mind, it is like any kind of beneficials. And even you are like giving the small bread, piece of the biscuit to the others, and making the generosities. Maybe it's you can to keep the discipline, to say it's like, one day I don't want to harm any two other sentient beings. And then is this during the day you are very much to like a kind of intentionally to carrying your body, speech, mind. I don't want to harm it. And also it's like to say it's a commitment. I don't want to be angry. And whoever beings disturbed to me, I want to practice patience. And this patience may be forever, or maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 1 hour, or 1 year, and or 2 years, or 4 hours this life. Or it's like diligently, maybe day and night, as much as we could, to do some positive things, to do what we need to positive things, helping to the sentient beings. Like bodily, it's kind of doing benefit for other sentient beings. Which kind of benefit? Through my bodily, to help. Even you are like kind of showing your movement to the other sentient, very kindly, smiling, look to the other sentient beings, very kindly. And also verbally, it's like become very kind and never give harsh word and not use any like dirty word, and this kind of the love saying to the pleasant word. This kind of positive activities. And mentally each moment to have the mindfulness and to concerning the benefit, how I can to harm, how I can to get the others things, how I can to cheat to others, how I can to make the deceptive to the others. Not this kind of intentions. And the mentally is like thinking about benefit for others. This is a kind of positive. Whatever we take under the positive actions, whether of the major or the minor, and doing small or big, mediums, whatever we do, very important it is indispensable to enhance with the three supreme methods. Indispensable. It's like kind of necessary. Really, it's like indispensable. Enhance, to catch, embraced by the three supreme methods. These three supreme methods is very important. In the future, we are here, Dharma City organizations. We hope you will become the great Dharma teacher in the futures. When you teach to the others, and like how you can to teach, and someone asked what does it mean, the three supreme methods. If you give explanation, these three supreme methods, that is the wonderful. But if you say, I don't know, in the book says there's three supreme methods, which kind of? I heard, but I don't know exactly. Then it's like not very good. There's three supreme methods. There are three categorizations. It is the supreme. It is very important with our activities. Activity of the body, speech, mind is particularly for the positive activities. Three supreme methods. This is methods, these methods to make them more genuine. These methods to make the authenticity. It's making the the superiorities. Therefore, beginning arousing the bodhicitta as the skillful means to make sure that the action becomes a source of the good for the future. At the beginning, it is very important apply to the bodhicitta, good attitude, to have good ideas. Because this is the special supreme method, it is says root of the body, speech, mind is the mind. And the root of the mind is become the compassionate. The body, speech is automatically become the compassionate. And therefore it's this bodhicitta is the skillful means. Why? To make that actions positive action. And action of the body, action of the verb, action of the mind. It's become the source of the good for the future. Because it's activity, action, it is the creator of the karmic phenomena. And action is the creation of this in the future, good or bad. And therefore, action is very important. Presently, we acting to create future situations. Present our situation completely depends the action of on the past. And therefore, this action is enhanced by the supreme methods of the compassion and good attitudes, and then this is a source of the good for in the future, for our benefit. And it's in the future, if you concern it, is very important. While you're carrying out the actions, avoid getting involved any conceptualizations, so that the merit cannot be destroyed by the circumstances. When we are doing some positive actions, and while carrying out our action, during this process is occurring times, that moment we need no conceptualization. Any conceptualizations, no need to conceptualization. Conceptualization is anger, or maybe hatred, and desire attachment, and something is kind of the opposite of the positives. And that can destroy to what we do in the positive things. Therefore, we cannot get involved in any conceptualizations, conceptual ideas, kind of relate to the ignorant desire attachment, kind of I want to do this. but for benefit for myself. Or it's like I'm doing positive things, but I'm very angry. Or I'm doing positive things, I have such jealous. Or I have like kind of this proud, arrogance. This can disturb the positive action one we are doing. For example, we can say, when you are making the pancake, and you put it to everything and like correctly, certainly in your intentionally, and you get the chili, and certainly, and you like kind of conceptual, maybe you angry your boyfriend, angry your girlfriend, or maybe your partners, you are very angry, but then you forgot your activities, you put a lot of the chili. And then suddenly you wake up, now my pancake, I think it's very chilly. And then you eat, it's impossible. And like this, sometimes we doing to the others very bad. Certainly we need to experience our own self. Say it's because of the karmic, this is because of the immediate retribution of karma, you need to sin. One person's, he is like want to make bad things to other persons. Other persons bring the soup, put in the front, and then need to bring some other things. Went, and then his front there's salt, he put a lot and the stuff. And then these persons come back and is thinking, today I made a very delicious food, please could you eat? He cannot to reject it. Say, no, please, I offer to you. If I'm offering to you, you should to accept. Then no choice. He put front, and while you sit, you don't like my soup? You are angry with me? What happens? No. Then please eat. Then he no choice. He put something a little bit on the mouth. Almost he died because full of the salty. And then this is like, he made bad to others, but finally he needed to experience it. Something is like this. And conceptuals can easily distort what you doing things. And like a kind of you doing positive things, certainly conceptual thoughts of the anger, hatred is arise. Then your action, you forget it. And then it's like turn wrong way. Like this, also, for example, we can say, when you are drivers and you are on the highway, very well, but certainly conceptual sleep is coming. Certainly, one moment, maybe it's very dangerous. You can be accident. Like therefore, when you be in the driving on the highway, you should to like kind of concentrate. You cannot involve any kind of thoughts of the other or the sleep is. You should to concentrate your way. It's a dangerous situation. Like this, when we doing the positive things, like how do you say, the making like we are carrying this the positive, and then it's like we cannot to have any conceptual thoughts, and this conceptual thoughts is like can distort. Then what we need non-conceptualizations. Non-conceptualizations is like to maintain in the essential mind, and also when we doing things, it is like not putting hope, not putting kind of the like kind of fear. Doing like kind of action is enhanced by the non-conceptualizations. Then is any circumstances it arises, it nothing distracted our minds. Circumstances is all the time circumstances easily to arrive. When it's like we open our eyes, there are many different forms wherever we be. And like like this, for example, stupid examples. Okay, sometimes I have this kind of. And one guy he was in the toilet, and then his first times before making the pee-pee, and he looked at the wall. Wall is very ugly, and but then he's very angry, and he used to make pee-pee, but pee-pee is everywhere. Nice example, yes? Now you wake up. Before, okay. Therefore, he needs to make even the toilet properly, correctly, mindfulnessly. And there's a conceptual anger is arise, and he make huge dirty. I think these hands-on teachers, there is difficult to continue. We need to stop 5 minutes.